Hello everyone, and welcome to Greyhammer. Today we're going to be finishing up the Stormcast Eternals. Apologies for no episode yesterday. Technical difficulties. Let's get right into it. Drakesworn Templar, get the Extremist Chamber passive as well. Once per battle, you can do a monstrous challenge. Pick an enemy monster in combat. On a 2-up, you add 1 to the damage of the Star Drake's Cavernous Jaws. And if the enemy target is also a hero, add 1 to the damage of the Templar weapons as well. So it can make him really heavy hitting against other monstrous characters. Karazai the Scarred has some passives, the Fire of Retribution, while he's got 5 to 9 damage points. Add 1 to the attack's characteristic of its melee weapons. If it's got 10 or more, add 2. Can make him pretty heavy hitting. Ancient Master of War, pick an enemy unit within this unit's combat range, subtract 1 from the attack's characteristic of their melee weapons, so can become a little bit tankier. And Calamitous Tail Sweep as his Rampage, pick an enemy unit in combat, roll dice for each model in the target unit for each 5-up, inflict mortal damage. So pretty decent against mass units. Krondus is the wizard variety of Karazai. He adds 2 to casting rolls. His Rampage, as you pick an enemy unit on a 3-up, they can't get commands, cannot use commands. And then the Atavistic Tempest is a casting value of 8, and you basically pick an effect. Either subtract 1 from hit rolls, from rend, or from save rolls for the target, being a pretty strong debuff spell. The Lord Celestant on Star Drake is got the Extremist Chamber as well, but he's also got Lord of the Host, where you add 1 to the attack's characteristic of Extremist Chamber units. Do these guys have Extremist Chamber? They do not. Okay. So just your regular dragons. And then Cavernous Jaws Rampage ability. Pick an enemy unit in combat, roll 3 dice for each roll that exceeds or equals the target's health characteristic. 1 model in the target unit is slain. Really powerful. Speaking of powerful units, let's get into Aetherwings, who have always been a joke, but you add 1 to hit rolls for shooting attacks from friendly Vanguard units if the target's within 9. Got a 12-inch move. Pretty zippy fast, and if you take them with the Warrior Chamber battle formation, they also give +1 to just any Warrior Chamber, so it can be pretty versatile. Annihilators. Super tanky, heavy infantry. Brace for impact. If an enemy charged, roll dice for each model in this unit. If any of those rolls are a 6, strike last gives to the enemy. And Blazing Impact, if it was set up using the Scions of the Storm, you pick up to 3 enemy units within 10, roll d3 for each target. On a 2-up, inflict an amount of mortal damage on the target equal to the roll. Gryph-hounds are another useful unit. They're pretty fast and good at tagging objectives, not holding it. But pick an enemy unit within 12 inches of this unit that was set up this turn. Pick up to 3 friendly Stormcast Eternals units armed with ranged weapons that are within 12 inches of the enemy unit. Roll d3 for each target. On a 2-up, inflict an amount of mortal damage on the enemy unit equal to the roll. So it can kind of punish your deep striking opponents. Your Annihilators with Grand Hammers are more heavy hitting, heavy infantry. They are super heavy hitting by that. 3 attacks, 3-up, 2-up, ruined 2, 3 damage. They have the Force of a Falling Star. If this unit charges this phase and the unmodified charge roll is an 8-up, pick an enemy unit and they get strike last. Same Blazing Impact ability. Concussors, Extremist Chamber, of course, Thunderstruck, pick an enemy unit in combat. On a 3-up, they can't use command points as they basically bonk them on the head with their hammers. Desolators, you add 1 to the damage of the Thunder Axe if the target unit has 10 or more models. Not super useful, but decent. And Fulminators, Impaling Strikes. If this unit charges phase, pick an enemy unit within an inch. Roll a d3 on a 2-up and inflict an amount of mortal damage on the target equal to the roll. One of the better of the heavy cavalries. Then Tempesters. Pick an enemy unit that had any damage points allocated to the Volley Storm crossbows. On a 2-up, they can't use all-out defense in the following combat phase. Pretty decent, but Concussors can just do that on a 3-up. And it would be all of them, so kind of hard to balance that one. Praetors, they're a little different than the other bodyguard units, and you have to pick a hero before the game, and then this unit and that hero get a 5-up ward if they're within range. I love these models. We'll probably be painting some soon. Maybe, probably not tonight. Not tonight. Um, Prosecutors, your zippy fast Ruination Chamber guys. You make a resistance roll d6 on a 4-up. The ability has no effect for a non-core ability. They have a coherency range of 2 inches, and they can charge 3d6. They're not great, but they're good at tagging objectives, but they look amazing. Stormdrake Guard, really cool models, really cool rules. Coherency range of 2, Extremist Chamber passive, and they have a Rampage ability. If it charged, roll a dice. On a 3-up, it can move 2d6, pass through the combat ranges of enemy units, and can end the move in combat. Then pick an enemy unit that is this unit has passed across and inflicted d3 mortal damage. Pretty cool. Stormstrike Chariot, also a really cool model. We will be finishing painting that model tonight, hopefully. Finishing. You've got a 0 Elite Unleashed. If you charge, pick an enemy unit within an inch, roll d3 on a 2-up, inflict amount of mortal damage equal to the roll. Celestial Blaze, when it uses power through, it inflict an additional d3 mortal damage and add d6 to the movement. Vanguard Hunters, it can shoot and charge and still run or retreat. Even if it ran or retreat, in the deployment phase, you can pick an enemy unit to be the target. It gets hunted, add 2 to the move characteristic while a hunted enemy unit is on the battlefield. Add 1 to hit rolls that target the hunted enemy unit. Vanguard Paladors, same passive and charging volley. They can shoot in combat if they charge with their javelins, and they do so in the charge phase. So you get some shots off before any combat actually commences. Shocking strikes from the Vanguard Paladors with hand axes. If any damage points are allocated to an enemy's unit by attacks made by the shock hand axes, subtract 1 from the wound rolls for their combat attacks. Hurricane crossbows, add 1 to wound rolls for this unit's shooting attacks if the target is in combat with any friendly Vanguard chamber. Vanguard Raptors ignore guarded hero if they didn't move, so set up sniper positions can be really useful there. Vigilors, I think these are super good units. You got Navigators of the Storm. If an enemy unit had any damage points allocated to it this turn by this unit shooting attacks, add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made by friendly Stormcast Eternals units that target that unit for the rest of the turn. So it can be pretty effective at giving out little +1s to hit. Quester Soulsworn are a little fancy. They've got the Ordained Quest once per battle in the deployment phase. You pick an objective wholly within outside of friendly territory. It's considered quest marked. Once per battle, you can pick a Knight Questor, and then you can teleport this unit and that unit with it. Anyone on the battlefield more than 9 from all enemy units. Passive, his will be done while they're contesting a quest marked objective. Add 3 to the control score. And ward of 5-up. Celestial Vortex, 12 attacks, 4 up, red 1 damage. Subtract 1 from hit rolls from shooting attacks made by enemy units while they're wholly within 12. Dancer Carnum basically gives you a 5 ward and +1 cast, and changes your movement to 8. Everblaze Comet, pick any number of enemy units within 6 in any hero phase. Which it says if it was summoned, so I think it only does it once. Roll a d3 for each target on a 2-up, inflict an amount of mortal damage on the target equal to the roll. And then Arcane Disruption, subtract 1 from casting rolls from enemy wizards while they're wholly within 12. Lord Vigilant, you basically get to make a Ruination Chamber unit fight twice. It has to be non-hero. Really powerful ability there. Lord Terminos, course, has the Ruination Chamber passive. He's got a Memoriam token where you add 3 to the control scores of friendly Ruination Chambers older than 12. And reaction, a unit can fight after him, and you add 1 to the hit rolls for the target's attacks for the rest of the turn. Then you've got Reclusiums. Um, they have Memorians as well. While any Memorians are on the battlefield, you can add one to the Ruination Chamber passive roll. So 3 up ignoring spells. Pretty powerful. Ionis Cryptborn, really cool dragon character. Lightning Tempest, answer value 5. Pick a visible enemy unit within 12. Inflict D3 mortal damage on a 1 to 2. The sequence ends. On a 3-up, pick another enemy unit within 3 inches and inflict D3 mortal damage. The cast enchanting roll was a 10 plus. You can pick another enemy unit within 6 instead of 3. Keep rolling until you can't strike anyone else or there's nobody. Everyone else has been stricken. Spirit Scourging Flames, pick an enemy unit that had any damage points allocated to it this turn by attacks made by the Spirit Scourging Flames. They get soul burned for the rest of the battle. And even if this unit is killed, it can use this ability. Pick any number of soul burned units on a 2-up on a D3, inflicts an amount of mortal damage on the target equal to the roll. Yndrasta Spearhead. Yndrasta, Knight Vexlore, 3 Annihilators, 2 units of 5 Vanquishers, Stormtrike's Chariot. Yndrasta and Annihilators are not on the battlefield until the 3rd battle round, and they can set up within 6 inches of the enemy units on the 3rd battle round. Regiment abilities, you've got Drive them back, pick any number of friendly units that are both contesting objective and in combat. Each of those units can make a pile-in, and on a 4-up, inflict mortal damage. Or defend to the last. Friendly units have a ward of 6-up while contesting an objective you control. You pick one of these enhancements, the Prime Huntress. Thingavar is 2d6, targeting a monster. General has strike first if they charge. Dazzling Radiance, you can return its slain model once per battle to each friendly unit wholly within 12, or until the end of the phase, add 1 to hit rolls made by friendly units while they're wholly within 12. Lots of once per battle. Probably taking Strike with Tempest Rage. We've gone over these, so we'll just skip to this one because I'm running a little late. This episode will be released a little late as well. Then there's the Lord Vigilant on Gryffstalker, a Lord Veritant, 3 Prosecutors, 5 Liberators. During the battle, you can use the following abilities. Both are once per battle. Shield of Vizier gives a unit a 5-up ward. Or Storm Charge, they can charge even if it ran. Then Regiment abilities, you pick either Strike where needed, where no more damage is inflicted for once per battle when you declare a retreat, and they can charge even if they did retreat. Or Blaze of Glory, each time a model in the unit is slain on the 4-up, inflict mortal damage back. You're probably going the Strike where needed. Hallowed Scroll, your general has a ward of 5-up, or your Hallowed Great Axe has a crit mortals, or you can do a once per battle strike first, or once per battle subtract the control score on a 2-up on the roll, so you could do up to 6. Ward of 5-up or crit mortals, pretty good. That's going to be it for today's episode. Please like, comment, subscribe, let me know what unit you're most excited about. Blades of Corn will be coming out tomorrow. Thank you and goodbye.